caring affects so many of our lives. 3 in 5 of us will be a carer at some point in our lives, and many of us will care more than once in our lives. Carer research and knowledge has been growing for a number of years, and because so many different people are involved in producing it, it's all over the place, very fragmented, and we're not getting the best out of it. So this review, for the first time, pulled all that together.
Carers Trust became involved in the scoping review of the project, and we also fed back on the workshops around the social care practice. We were really keen to be involved, partly because we know the value of research, and also because we thought it would really help both us as an organisation and also our network partners carry on making that case for change in terms of why research is so important.
It's about all caring relationships, caring for adults. Obviously, because of our ageing population, a lot of people being cared for are elderly, and that poses particular issues. And when people caring for elderly, often a spouse or a partner, and because they see that as part of their relationship, caring part of their relationship, they don't self-identify as a carer.
One can't look at the carer without the cared for, and vice versa. I am as dependent on my husband as he is on me, because my life has to wrap round him holistically. And I think that is sometimes missing in research. It's beginning to be recognised more and more.
The review was also interested in highlighting newly emerging groups, such as sandwich carers. These are mainly women aged between 55 and 69. They are caring for elderly relatives and perhaps grandchildren, or their own children are at home because of the housing situation and adult children not being able to move away. In addition, they are working, so this has implications for not only this new group of carers that are emerging, but for looking at employment policies with regards to carers. The findings showed that it's not so much the intervention per se, but it's the process of setting up the intervention that carers value. The most effective interventions are around counselling and peer support for carers. And the review also showed that what is important are interventions to build carers' resilience, to help them cope, to give them strategies.
So I notice I know within my group, I've run a group for quite a few years, and actually some people are not very good at caring. They really don't have the skills, and they're flung into it in, comparatively old age. And it's a very, very difficult partnership, really. Particularly with older carers, there are so many issues around that. The carer might need caring for, actually.
And interestingly, the profile of young carers has increased dramatically over particularly in the last 10 years. Lots of studies and projects about young carers, but there's still a relatively small group of the total number of carers.
One of the things that was really highlighted in our Care Act 1 Year On report, which Mary was part of, is that there are gaps that we know in evidence for BME carers and also LGBT carers. So those are particularly 2 areas that we're aware of are real gaps, and where there should be hopefully efforts to address those.
The review has been really good at helping us to fine-tune research, or to think about how we could fine-tune research.
I think because it's so comprehensive and so broad and touches on the grey areas too, so it's not just looking at the most well-known researchers and the outcomes of their projects. It would be very broad.
This review is going to be underpinning this Sky resource called Understanding Carers, and that will be accessible and be useful to all those providing support to carers, as well as carers themselves.
It's great that the resource is digital, so it can be accessed by anyone wherever they are, so they don't have to go to a physical place to get it.
And this resource, yes, it will be of interest to academics, but it's going to be mainly aimed at helping commissioners, policymakers, all those involved in providing support for carers or campaigning for support for carers, like carers organisations. It can also be used to help inform the implementation of the Care Act, and policymakers and at national and local level will be able to use it to help them develop strategies and policies for the foreseeable future. We're also developing the scoping review into a knowledge exchange network on the Open University website. This will be accessible for anyone who needs carer knowledge or research from all over the world. They'll be able to search the database with all the resources in. So for example, if you wanted to find out about policies about carers in employment or carers of those with dementia, you could do a search and get up information about that. And this network will also enable you to exchange knowledge, for want of a better word, or to talk to those with similar interests as yourself. So we're hoping that it encourages interaction between people with similar needs and interests around caring issues.